I continue to drive many EVs every year, every month, in fact, at this point in time. And certain things are starting to become, or come into focus, is what I should say. You see, and as you very well know, the electric vehicle is evolving at a scary pace. And up until maybe just less than a year ago, there was there wasn't any breakaway model in a sense, that cost under $175,000, for example. And that kind of still remains true to this day, but some models are starting to fall behind. And it's incredible the speed at which this is happening. Now before you, as you can see in the caption obviously, is a 2023 Volvo XC40 Recharge. Yes, the all-electric version of this. And I first drove it just over 2 years ago because it was introduced for the 2021 model year. And suffice it to say that I fell absolutely in love. The styling, the packaging, the performance, everything about it. And at the time, for the price, it almost all made sense. In fact, I liked it so much that I booked it again almost exactly a year ago and did a review. I didn't do a video that time because the other video is still very fresh. And as I drove more EVs from German, from Japanese, from, well, not so much Japanese, but from Korean automakers especially. And yeah, this kind of came back in to circulation because Volvo did make some announcements recently about the XC40, and it motivated me to get behind the wheel of this vehicle once more. Now, what I'm trying to say is that I think among modern EVs, the Volvo XC40 Recharge is the first one to become not obsolete, but, and obsolete is a strong word, but I mean, it almost applies, where certain decisions and technologies and the way they operate are already way old. And this has happened in about 2.5 years' time, only 2.5 years' time. And Volvo obviously knows it because a few months ago they announced that the 2024 model year of the XC40 Recharge is going to address most of these issues. But this is a 2023 and it has not been rectified, if you will. But even so, I still really like this SUV. But just compared to another EV that I happen to be driving this week, sometimes, not wires are crossed, but things just happen and few cars show up at the same time. Well, not show up, that's BS. I go and pick them up, or they're booked at the same time. And that's what happened this week. And last week's booking was also kind of a half surprise because it was a last minute edition. Anyway, point is that they're all EVs. They're all not within the same price range, but suffice it to say that this one has taken a serious hit based on these experiences. And essentially that's my job. I have to relate or relay the information that I gather and the experience that I gather to you. Now this is a great electric SUV, but don't buy it. Don't, unless it's heavily discounted. Wait for the 2024 model year. But in the meantime, do a quick walk around of this 2023 XC40 Recharge and then take it for a quick spin. Okay, so just a few quick words on the styling for the Volvo XC40, which was unveiled a number of years ago already. Visually speaking, I still think it's the best sorted, just the most attractive of Volvo's SUVs. There's something about the proportions, the long wheelbase, the non-existent overhangs. It's, so dare I say it, jeez. It's almost cute, but in a very dry Scandinavian, Swedish approach. It just, I don't know, it's really good looking. Enough of that. Oh, what doesn't hurt, obviously, are the 20-inch wheels. And by the way, this is sage green with the black roof. I mean, it just heightens the whole thing for me. This, in my opinion, is true subtle luxury. Okay, so there's one version in 2023, well, it has been, of the XC40 Recharge with 3 possible trims. So the base core, $59,950. You get Google built-in 9-inch touchscreen display, 12-inch digital IP, power tailgate, 19-inch wheels. You know, a fair amount of kit you would expect in a premium vehicle in 2023. Now, if you move on to the Plus, it adds adds $10,000 to the price, and you get the panoramic sunroof, moonroof. But even so, the problem is, one of the main issues is pricing and packaging. Is that this model, the one you see right here, is the top trim ultimate, which adds $13,950 to the near $60,000 base price. You need it, unfortunately, if you live in Canada. So a grand total of almost $74,000, and that is if you want, well, the package includes Harman Kardon audio, which who cares, but if you want a heated steering wheel, if you want adaptive cruise control, rear heated seats, you have to get the ultimate package. That's unacceptable in 2023, especially when you consider that at least adaptive cruise control and the heated steering wheel are part or included as standard in most of this, if not all, of the XC40's, well, would-be competition. That's a big no-no. I'm not sure about 2024 if the pricing has been announced, but I doubt that they'll increase them. Hopefully they'll revise the packages, and yeah, so that's it. I won't show you the trunk because whatever, there's no point, but some of the great things about the XC40 is that it's still very roomy in here. In the back seat, you can easily sit 2 across, and you'll have plenty of legroom, headroom. Love the wide openings. Okay, so it's a little bit narrow at the bottom, but this is a compact premium SUV. And with all the Volvos and the Polestars now, there's simplicity. You know, oftentimes, if not all the time, less is more, and that's exactly what this is. Sometimes it's not perfect, such as what's going on here, but there's nothing new, but it's beautifully crafted, well put together. Oh, and here's one of the things that will have to be adapted or adopted by other automakers in all their EVs, or at least offered as an option. That's when you have the key on you, you get in and the radio goes on. It's ready to go. The SUV, the EV is ready to go. It recognizes you, it's good to go. Probably one of the most premium touches in any vehicle. 12-inch digital IP, 9-inch touchscreen display. Just quickly, these are the only physical buttons you have in the SUV, which is fine. You get used to it once you work out to navigate. Once you navigate through the Google built-in and the Google Assistant and all that. So storage is good, storage. Visibility is great. Again, just beautiful craftsmanship. Another issue, and where I take offense with the packaging in this SUV, or that's the same thing with the Polestars, is that let's say you're on this screen or you're listening to, I don't know, radio. Okay, so you got to go here, and then you have your settings menu, and this is everything you have to do in order to go from 1-pedal drive to no pedal drive. 2-pedal drive, it's a joke. But the point is that this is backwards in the sense that there are far too many steps in order to access one of the most important things, at least in my opinion, if you're involved in your EV driving experience, to benefit from regen braking. I mean, you know, the Koreans, Genesis, Hyundai and all of them, they have paddles on the wheel, so you can always play with them. But this is just ridiculous. And if you're on the radio, again, you know, you got to go to settings, that. You even have to scroll. It's wrong, completely wrong. Thankfully, the drive is okay, but there's still one issue, and that's with range. But let's touch on that now. But seriously, the fact that it recognizes the driver right away and is ready to go immediately. I mean, it's come to the point where with 1-pedal drive, which I'll go back into because I think through all the menus, there you go. That's ridiculous, completely ridiculous. But with 1-pedal driving in the city, for example, I don't even bother putting the SUV into park. I just come to a full stop with regen braking and unbuckle my seatbelt, open the door, and the vehicle just goes into park automatically, and I get out and close the door behind me and it shuts off. That is luxury as far as I'm concerned. Beyond that, I've already told you, don't buy a 2023, there's no point. So it almost makes no sense to give you specs for the 2023 model year vehicle, but the thing is, 402 HP, dual motor setup, 486 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.9 seconds. Those are all great numbers. They all absolutely work and are relevant. And for 2024, oh yeah, well, 78 kilowatt hour battery, and on a full charge, estimated range is of only 359 kilometers. Which for, in this case, $75,000, most vehicles, even at 60, most vehicles will offer at least, on paper, 50, 60 kilometers more range, and even maybe even up to 125 more kilometers of range, depending on the make, manufacturer, and all that. So that you can't, that's not a selling point. You don't want that. And charging speed max is 150 kilowatts, which is fine. That's okay. The reality is that if you take it for what it is right now, I mean, it's still plenty of range. I'm enjoying it. I brought it up to, and indicated, I think it was 343 kilometers. I might be wrong, but on a full charge, which is fine. Obviously, I'm enjoying that quite a bit. Just love it. This is an extremely reactive vehicle, and it doesn't have any drive modes except for the one pedal drive, which is kind of nuts. But where was I? Yeah. So that. Great. Chassis is great. The platform is fine. I mean, it feels stiff, solid. The steering, as with all electronically assisted, calibrated, tuned steerings, they all feel completely disconnected. There's a little bit of a gap in the middle, but 99.9% of normal people will never notice or realize that's the case. Brake pedal feel is good. It's all good. So the thing with 2024, Volvo will fit their own in-house designed electric motors for, I think, total output will be very similar, if not identical, to what we get now. So performance as far as speed should be the same. At least it can't be less, that's for sure. But it gets a new 82 kilowatt hour battery, which on a full charge should deliver an estimated 408 kilometers of range. A vast improvement, 49 kilometers, but still not enough in my opinion. But range, once you reach 400, it's numbers become irrelevant beyond that, other than for marketing, which is probably why it's 408 and not 399 or 401, because you feel like you're into the 400s. So that's fine. Charging speeds go up to 200 kilowatts, which is a nice touch, I suppose. And everything else, as far as I understand, should be the same. There will be a few other updates and visual upgrades, but the XC40 I still think is great. But the thing is, I mean, I had a GV70 electrified only a week ago, and it is 10 grand more than this. But the reality is that either it's $20,000 not expensive enough, the GV70 I mean, or this one is about $15,000-$20,000 too expensive for what you get. Build quality is still excellent in this thing, but just hold out. Wait for the 2024, and you'll get a little bit more of everything, hopefully for no more money. That's the key. That's it, I'm done.